Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to memorize 100 new names in the next 12 months. Imagine memorizing 100 new names in the next year, the next 12 months. For example, if you know 200 people right now, if you can walk down the street and go to different places and see 200 different people, your friends, your neighbors, your cousins, people you go to school with. Let's say you know 200 names. Let's add 100 to that in the next 12 months. Let's memorize 100 new names in a year. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to do it. First of all, I have a very complete video on how to memorize names in the link below in the description. So if you want to watch that after this video, it's a great video on how to remember names. So how do you memorize 100 new names in a year? First of all, it's a very easy task. That's only 2 new names a week. When I speak at a conference, I'll typically memorize 100 names in 30 minutes. So it's a very easy task. What do you have to do to make this happen? To memorize 100 names in a year. Number one, you're going to need to get predetermined pictures for names. So this is how you do it. Every time you meet somebody for the next 2 months, turn their name into a picture. When you go to the bank and you see somebody has a name tag on and their name is Brian, turn that into a picture. Maybe you think brain. If you're at a restaurant and the waiter's name is Steve, ask yourself, what's a picture for Steve, and think stove. Why are you going to do this? You're going to do this because your mind remembers pictures. It doesn't remember what it just hears. Think about this. How many times have you met somebody and then you see them 6 weeks later, and what do you always say? Oh my gosh, I remember that face. I just can't think of the name. Why do you say that? You saw the face. You never saw the name. The mind remembers what it sees. So you need to start seeing pictures for names. Another point on that, let's say you meet somebody named Steve and you decide my picture for that name is going to be a stove. Here's the deal. It's going to be stove for the rest of your life for every Steve. In other words, don't meet a Steve and think, oh, for that Steve, I'm going to think of baseball because he likes baseball. That makes absolutely no sense. And I don't know why people do that. Think of a picture for the name, not the person. That way you can use it for every name. Number two, after you've created a picture for every name, and the way you get in the habit of doing this is just every time you drive down the street, you see a name on a billboard, turn it into a picture. You see an actor on TV, turn their name into a picture. Turn everybody's name into a picture. I'm using American names, but this works for names around the world. I give this speech all the time in Asia. I give it in Europe. I've given it in Africa. I've given it all over the world. So no matter what country you live in, turn the name into a picture. After you have the name turned into a picture, visualize it on that person's face. If their name is Ron, think of running for Ron. And if he has a beard, imagine it on his beard. If he has big ears, imagine it on his ears. If you meet a woman named Lisa and she has pretty eyes, maybe you see the Mona Lisa in her eyes. So you're creating a picture for the name, and you're storing that picture on a distinctive feature on the face. Now, here's the extra step that you're going to need to do. You're going to need to review. What I recommend is that you get a book like this and you write out when you meet somebody. And maybe you write out John. Guess his age. 35 years old, big ears, and then maybe where you met him. And you're going to write out the distinctive feature on his face and his name. And then maybe once a week, get that book out and review the people that you met. You know another way you can do it? You could create a PowerPoint presentation if you want. Every time you meet somebody, maybe search them online. See if they have a Facebook profile or a Twitter profile or a LinkedIn profile, and get a picture of them. And then take that picture and put it in a PowerPoint, and then underneath that PowerPoint, write their name, and then write their distinctive feature. A funny looking nose, or big ears, or distinctive chin. And then just review that. You're always going to have to be reviewing. And when you're reviewing, review if they have a big chin and their name is Jack, think of a jack, like you jack up a car, and imagine it's jacking up their chin. Then when you see Jack again in 6 months, don't try to remember his name. Instead, ask yourself, what stood out to me on his face? Oh yeah, it was his chin. What was going on his chin? Oh yeah, I was jacking up his chin. If you do this process, number one, turn everybody's name you meet into a picture. Number two, select a distinctive picture on their face. Number three, see those interacting together. And then number four, get some form of review. Whether you create a book like this and you just write down the names and the distinctive features, or you create something on your computer, a PowerPoint presentation with their pictures. Either way, you're going to need to review. And then review once a week who you met. This will enable you to memorize 100 new names this next year, and it's such a great skill. Zig Ziglar says people don't care how much you know until they first know how much you care. When you remember names, you're showing people you care. Dale Carnegie, in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, said that everybody's favorite subject is themselves, and the sweetest sound of their ear is the sound of their own name. When you remember names, it's going to help you build relationships, build your business, build friendships. As I mentioned, I have another video that I did on how to remember names, and it goes into more detail on this. It's in the link below. If you got some value out of this video, will you please give me a like? I really appreciate the likes. I appreciate all subscribes, and I appreciate if you share this on your social media. The more we can get the good news out there about memory training in your brain, the better. Leave a comment for me. Tell me what you think.